Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we live and work on. For myself and on the Central Coast, that's the Darkinjung country. I'd also like to pay respects for elders past, present and emerging. So thank you for joining us for this Lunch and Learn, Upskilling in Practice Administration. My name is Natalie and I'm from the PHN Education team. A few things to let you know about this session. It will be recorded and available for you to view on our education library, along with a copy of the presentation slides in a few days' time. As attendees, your cameras and microphones are automatically disabled. If you have questions during the presentation, please send them via the chat box, which you'll find located within the control panel. These questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. Please keep your mics and cameras disabled throughout the session. An evaluation will come to you directly after the session, and your feedback is extremely important as it enables us to provide future education sessions. Now, it's my great pleasure to introduce you to Alison Tattersall, the Primary Care Workforce Manager of the PHN.
Hello everyone, thanks for coming to our Lunch and Learn today. We really appreciate the time that's spent coming to the session. And we'd like to acknowledge that you're all very busy in your practices, so we appreciate the fact that you're here with us today. I'll introduce you to our guest speaker today, and that is Alana Stegnit. Alana is the Partnership Manager at UNE Partnerships. We've been doing a lot of work with Alana over the years with our scholarships that we provide. And we welcome you, Alana, to give the presentation. But I'd also like to just introduce Kathy Wells. Kathy is the Workforce Officer, primarily working on the WPPP program, but also working on scholarships. So she's a good person to know if you've got any queries with regard to the course, and Alana likewise is very helpful. So Alana, thank you for coming today, and I'll hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Alison, and thank you so much, Natalie, for getting us all organised. And again, thank you everyone for attending today. I know we're very busy in practice, and it's probably your lunch break, so you're probably scoffing down your food as I speak. So I hope today I'll be able to share a lot of information about this exciting opportunity for the 2025 scholarships that are available with the PHN. So a little bit about me. So I'm Alana Stegnit, the Partnership Manager for UNE Partnership. My role involves creating education programs in consultation with our industry partners, our networks and high schools, specifically in the healthcare industry. My background expands over 20 years in the education sector, working within vocational education. I've worked in a variety of different fields, from your blue-collar industries like engineering and mechanical, through to some large corporate clients, upskilling their workforce as travel agents. However, what I'm most passionate about is the healthcare industry and the need to attract, retain and upskill the healthcare workforce to ensure we have skilled workforce to keep up with the future demands that are predicted. And I know many of you, especially if you're working in practice managers roles, trying to attract and retain great staff is really challenging out there. So providing opportunities through education is a great way to retain, but also reward your staff. And I think coupled together with this fantastic scholarship opportunity that Hunter New England has on offer, now is a perfect time to really consider how you can attract, retain and upskill your workforce. As I said, thank you very much for taking the time out this morning. I have to put an apology in. Kay Amos Fleming, our health training manager, was meant to join us today. We actually kick-started allied health programs in schools in New South Wales as of yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. So we have about 120 students starting in allied health programs. So Kay wanted to get on the road with our educators. So she's busy teaching. She's probably at the Forest High School as we speak, teaching at the moment. So her apologies, but she did do a pre-recording, so I'll share that a little bit later on. Quickly, a little bit about UNEP, if you're not aware of who we are. We are part of the University of New England. We are the vocational education side of the University of New England. We've been operating for over 39 years. We are a registered training organisation, and we work very closely with many of the primary health networks, work very, very closely with AAPM. So if anyone was at the conference in Darwin recently, I was there. And also we work very closely with secondary schools in New South Wales. So the fantastic opportunity we have available through Hunter New England is these 3 qualifications. These are all nationally recognised qualifications. So firstly, we have the Certificate 3 in Business Medical Administration. The duration of this qualification is 1 year. The delivery for this program is online learning with webinars. So we have a combination of webinars where there's a schedule where students can join with other like-minded students, but also there's going to be a series of pre-recorded webinars as well. We find distance education, online learning is great for those students that are really self-motivated, but also the added extra with webinars gives that extra support for students, because we all get time to time, we need that little bit of extra motivation, that little bit of oomph to keep us continuing. We say the estimated is about 2 to 4 hours per week towards your training. Now, when we say that, that's a combination of on-the-job learning, so actually doing the tasks on the job, and primarily these students will be working in these types of roles. It's a self-directed learning as well, so a combination of the two, it's estimated 2 to 4 hours per week. I always say to students, find that time in your week where you can sit down and focus on your study. If the workplace can support that, that's fabulous. If not, look in the weekend, when's your quiet time? I know I'm a mum of 3 and my perfect quiet time is, between 2 and 5 p.m. on a Sunday because all my chores are done. But looking at how to get yourself in a good routine to be able to do that study. There also will need to be support of a workplace supervisor. So that can be someone working in an admin role, practice manager or doctors or nurses, someone that can support the student with observation, signing off that they've demonstrated those skills and abilities. Now, with this course, if you were to go and pay for this course at a full fee and cost, it would be $3,290. But the great thing is we can access what's called Smart and Skilled funding in New South Wales. So a large proportion of that is funded, and it does reduce the fee down to between $1,320 and $1,580. That just depends on if the student has a previous qualification or not. But as mentioned, with this fantastic opportunity in scholarships, Hunter New England are actually contributing to your student contribution fee, which means your fee outlay will only be $250. So that's an incredible saving. It's an incredible opportunity, and it really shows that investment from the PHN that they see a need to upskill people in this qualification for attraction, retention. So that's a Certificate 3 in Business, Medical Admin. The next one is the Certificate 4 in Health Administration. Duration of this course is 2 years. Again, a combination of online learning and webinars, both pre-recorded webinars and webinars that you can actually join. On-the-job learning, self-directed learning, but a little bit more higher commitment to time. We say between 3 and 4 hours per week. And again, combination of on-the-job learning, on doing the tasks, and also your theory component. Another big thing, need the support of your workplace supervisor. And that's for any training, whether you're studying as a student or a trainee. It's really important to have that support and mentorship from somebody in the workplace that can support the student. Again, if you were going to enroll in this course without any support with fees, it would be $5,290. With the Smart and Skilled funding, it's reduced down again to $1,550 to $1,820. But again, with the significant investment from Hunter New England through the scholarship, the student contribution fee is only $250. So again, big difference between if you had to go and do this on your own, compared to being rewarded a scholarship through Hunter New England. And last but certainly not least is our Certificate 4 in Medical Practice Assisting. Duration again here is 2 years. The added extra with medical practice assisting is that there is compulsory workshops that you'll need to attend during that 2-year program. The first workshop will be your clinical skills workshop that runs over 3 days. And the second one will be your CPR first aid, which is towards the end of the course. I'll share a little bit later on when those sort of times are. But yeah, it's very important that you attend these compulsory workshops because you need to do a lot of practical and demonstration. Again, combination of on-the-job learning, self-directed learning, a bit more again, up to 4 to 6 hours per week, focused on your studies or on the job as well, practice. And again, big thing, having that supervisor to support you. At this level though, you would be needing either someone who's already an MPA in your workplace to supervise you or a practice nurse or doctor, just because of those clinical tasks. The admin task can be signed off by a practice manager, but it's the more clinical side of things would need a clinical physician to be able to sign off on those. Course fee, $7,990 if you were to go it alone, reduced down again between $1,990 and $230, but with the scholarship investment from Hunter New England in New England, the student fee is $500. So again, a huge saving there for those that are lucky enough to take up the opportunity of taking on a scholarship. Just briefly on the Smart and Skilled funding. So yeah, New South Wales are very lucky. We have access to a lot more funding. I'm going to put a disclaimer, I'm a Queenslander, I'm based in Queensland. We don't have as much opportunity in Queensland. New South Wales, it's great. And eligibility is quite relaxed, which is great. So to be eligible for Smart and Skilled funding, you just need to be over 15 years of age, no longer at school and living and working in Hunter, New England or New South Wales, basically. You need to either be an Australian citizen, Australian permanent resident, humanity visa holder, or a New Zealand citizen. So permanent residencies of Australia. So we'll delve into the first one, and I'm not going to go over every single unit. You actually will get a copy of this presentation at the end as well, so you can actually go into a lot more detail, all the units that you'll be covered in this qualification. But it is backed and supported by, healthcare professionals. It's been put together by healthcare professionals, and our team spend a lot of time in consultation with industry, getting feedback on what it is that we need to upskill our medical staff in. Our health portfolio director is Gary Smith. I know he's very well known and so he had a lot of input too and feedback, and he delivers a lot of our programs as well. So yeah, when we put this together, a lot of it is come back from what are the demands, what are we looking for, what do we need to get students upskilled for. So as I said, you'll get a copy of this, but with the Cert 3 in Business Medical Administration, you will need to complete 13 units of competency. If I zoom in there a little bit closer, some of the units that are being put together, particularly for medical administration, interpret and apply medical terminology, prepare and process medical accounts, maintain patient records. These are the types of units that you can find within this qualification. Apply critical thinking skills in a team environment. So lots of different units that are there to support the learner in those roles, whether they're new to industry or been in the role for a little while and would like to gap fill some of those areas. Graduate outcomes when it comes to Certificate 3. For those working in medical reception or admin roles, it provides that foundations to be able to explore further training and to advance careers. So, the whole retain comes down to, if you've got a person that you want to upskill, they want to get the qualification, where else can they go within the medical practice for future careers? But also succession planning, if someone leaves, who can we backfill, who can we get ready to take on future roles? So the Certificate 3 really gives those foundation skills, and then afterwards potentially looking on to doing a certificate 4 in health administration or a certificate 4 in medical practice assisting. And of course, there's going to be some credits there as well. So, because some of the units that are within the Cert 3 are actually in the Cert 4 as well. So, yeah, great foundations, particularly for entry level, or those that have been working a little while but just want to gap fill some of that knowledge that they might not have picked up. In regards to the certificate 4 in health administration, there's 15 units of competency that need to be completed. This health administration is more for intermediate admin type roles, those in supervisory roles, and also those potentially who are part of your succession planning for practice management down the track as well. So they sort of that medium level when it comes to general practice and the types of skills and the units that they'll be covering. Again, we'll share after, you'll get a copy of this, but just having a look a little bit more in depth of what they'll be covering. So you're going more into the coordination of, you know, business operational plans, respond to effectiveness of behaviours of concern, communication, working with diverse. So it's sort of a broad range of types of units that are covered off. Continuous improvement is a big one. You know, we always need to look at ways that we improve, especially, you know, things change. We need to work out how we continue to provide that level of service. So yeah, 15 units are covered in this qualification. Reflect on improve on professional practice, infection control, medical terminology. Some of the Cert 3, a couple of Cert 3 units are in this one as well. So if you have already done a Cert 3 with us previously, yeah, there's potential there that you can really put some credits through if you're looking at that next level up. So graduate outcomes. So the certificate 4 is a great qualifications for those working in health administration roles and provides those foundations to explore further training to advance careers within medical practice. Upon completion, you may decide to go on to the certificate 4 in medical practice assisting, or you might actually look at going a diploma of leadership in healthcare practice, depending where your career interest lays and depends where you want to go within your career. Last but not least, again, is the certificate 4 in medical practice assisting. So I probably should mention too, you know, traditionally with scholarships, it's potentially always been around that medical practice assisting. So it's really exciting to see the opportunity come for the certificate 3 in business, medical admin and the health administration. And that's been from recent intakes, the amount of interest that we've received from students. And again, the great work that Alison and team do at the PHM. So with the medical practice assisting, there's 23 units, so there's a lot more units in this qualification. And as mentioned, there are compulsory workshops that you'll need to attend. Those dates are generally put out in advance. Once you start, dates and things are shared. And the thing is, we have locations all over New South Wales. So, you know, Newcastle, Armidale, Sydney. We also have them in Queensland. So if you fancy, you know, a trip to Brisbane and take the family, you could potentially come and join one of the clinical workshops in Brisbane. So you don't have to be, has to be in your particular region. If you can make us, again, I'm thinking as mum, you know, how do I juggle trying to do a clinical workshop while trying to juggle my kids, you know, take the husband and take him to Brisbane on a holiday and I could do my workshop at the same time. So we like to work with you to support you to be able to do that. So there's no one way of doing things. There's several ways that we can do that. And we know going to a clinical workshop at times too can be a little bit challenging. So yeah, we work with you on, give you some variety of different locations and dates and things like that, that you can attend these workshops. And we would expect you to attend your first workshop generally in the first 8 months of starting the course. That gives you time to get through some of the entry core units at the begin with, and then you start getting onto your clinical units, which is where you will be undertaking a lot of the clinical side of things. So yeah, about that 8-month mark. And then your last workshop will be towards the end because it's your CPR first aid. So it's a 2-year program. If you go to that 2 years, then you know it's going to be towards the end. But if you go through it faster, then you'd be looking at where you could potentially do your first aid. Another thing I should probably mention too, and I get asked this a lot too, is if your practice does the first aid CPR and it's something you regularly do, you can just use the credit from what you do at your practice. So you don't have to do ours. It's just part of the course. It just means that you just need to provide that statement of attainment. We can apply credit to that as well. So that can assist sometimes as well. So again, we'll share with you after this all the units that you're covering. Again, there's a real combination in this. There's a real combination of the Certificate 3 qualification and the Certificate 4 in health. But I think where everyone gets most excited is more in that clinical side of things and the types of units that you're covering, perform ECGs and take clinical measurements and support health professionals in the delivery of care. So those sort of the units there that really gets into those clinical type roles that you can perform in practice. I often get asked too, what kind of tasks can an MPA perform? So I've just broken down, this is actually, and we can provide this, we've got a scope of practice. So again, I get often asked, what's the scope of practice, for the insurances and things like that. This sort of breaks down, it's written by Gary too, Gary signs off on it. It just breaks down what type of tasks that you can undertake. So admin duties, these are types of roles that you can undertake as an MPA, and then these are the types of clinical duties that you can undertake as an MPA. Now, we always have to make sure that they're supervised. MPAs need to be supervised in the workplace. So that part of things is very important to understand. But yeah, these are the types of tasks and roles that an MPA can perform once they've completed this training. And, the Certificate 4 in MPA is such a popular qualification. It's what we've been known for a very long time. I know Alison and team get very excited. There's lots of celebrations when we have graduates in the MPA. But yeah, they provide such a essential part into medical practice because they can go between both. You can be in the admin, then you can help in the clinic, and it just helps that flow. And as we know, it's harder and harder to recruit nursing staff. So if we can take away some of these tasks that takes up a lot of their time, and they can then perform more what they need to perform in the clinic. Graduation outcomes, again, once they finish their medical practice, they could go on to leadership in healthcare practice. Could be another opportunity for that practice management side of things, or maybe that's inspired them to become a nurse. And, there's some credits there that can be applied in the Diploma of Nursing. There's 8 direct credits that can go straight into a Diploma of Nursing if that's an opportunity. And as we know, there's a lot of financial support around at the moment from an education side of things, trying to encourage people to do Diploma of Nursing. It's pretty much free in most places now because we need to get more people, educated in that. So this could be very much a great pathway for people if this is the career they want to take. This just shows a little flow chart of what the different qualifications that we offer here at UNEP and the different ways and different things that can take you into career-wise. We obviously do other things like allied health and health services assistance, but if today you're a receptionist starting as a receptionist and you finish your medical reception and you love the training and you really get into it, you can then look at going, do I become a medical practice assisting, or do I go into more health administration, or do I go into nursing, or really the sky's the limit, and there's so much opportunity out there for those that really do want to advance themselves in career-wise. So, and it's never too late either. I'm that nearly 50-year-old. It's never too late too to start education. It's just, I think the best thing would be to make sure you get yourself set up to begin with. Say, okay, family, I need time to do my study. Make time for yourself. It's like that when you start a gym membership. It's like you got to make time to go to the gym to make sure that we go to that. So what I like to do is I'm just going to share with you just a pre-recording. And as I said, I do apologise that we can't. I'm just going to drop out of this for 2 seconds. Sorry. Just lost the screen. I was doing so well and then I just lost it.
Hello, my name's Kay Amos Fleming and I'm the Training Manager in the Health Portfolio at UNE Partnerships. My apologies, I can't be there with you today, but I'd like to share some insights into 3 of our qualifications that we offer as part of our health programs. So the first is Certificate 3 Business Medical Administration. This qualification is suited for those wanting to go into the role of a receptionist or those who've been working in the medical industry in the healthcare practice that are in customer-facing roles. It's an introductory qualification into administration and it's an excellent induction for new staff. It gives a detailed understanding of responsibilities while developing the skills and knowledge required for daily work to support a practice team. In this 1-year qualification, they will study 13 units of competency and this will develop skills and knowledge to assist in workplace organisation, exercise quality improvement processes within the practice environment, contribute to effective workplace relations, monitor and maintain workplace safety, and also assist in designing and creating business documents and presentations, and overall effectively delivering a monitoring service to customers. The next qualification is Certificate 4 in Health Administration. Now, this qualification is more at an intermediate level in the space of health administration, an area where there's been a lot of professional growth forecasted. This qualification extends those administrative skills in interpreting and applying medical terminology, supporting innovation within teams, recruitment, management of health billing and account systems, and coordinating the implementation of customer service strategies. It's a 2-year qualification and during this time they'll study 15 units of competency. This study will enable them to strengthen their knowledge in communicating professionally, managing resources within healthcare practice, increase skills with workplace technology, and even able to handle and respond to patient feedback and complaints proficiently, obviously all in accordance with developed policy and procedures. The next qualification is our Certificate 4 in Medical Practice Assisting. So a medical practice assistant, or otherwise known as an MPA, is now playing a more increasing role within medical practice. This role is aimed to alleviate a lot of the stress and workloads on medical practitioners and practice nurses within their practice environment. MPAs not only perform a wide range of administrative tasks, but they also assist in a wide range of treatment room procedures, including clinical measurements, performing ECGs, sterilisation of medical equipment, just to name some. It's a 2-year qualification covering 23 units of competency, and on completion of this qualification, an MPA will have a skill set which will allow them to assist in performing a number of delegated tasks within the clinic, contribute to preparation and processing of patient records, as mentioned, also supporting health professionals with patient care. They'll have a broader understanding of creating a safe and efficient work environment and overall in the facilitation of coordinated patient care approach. Each of these qualifications involves a number of delivery options, including workshop webinars, workplace observation tasks, online study, and our educators are there to support students through one-on-one consultation. And we use various platforms for communication to make sure that our students are engaged and supported at all times. So we look forward to having most students enrolled in these qualifications soon to strengthen and also to provide further knowledge and skill sets for our primary health workforce. Thank you.
And some of that information was repeated again, but it was just really important to hear it from our nurse educator who's highly experienced and has been working in industry for a very long time. So some important dates that are coming up. So firstly, scholarship applications are closing on the Monday, the 24th of February at 5 p.m. Successful applicants will be notified by Wednesday, the 26th of February, and also the enrolments will close. So once we know who the successful applicants are for scholarships, you'll receive the enrolment link for you to complete. Enrolment links should only take you about 15 minutes to complete. It's just really important to have your USI prior. Programs then commence week 17th of March, their online orientation. So there'll be a couple of scheduled during that week. So depending on your time, there'll be some during lunchtime, some after hours, just to a broad range of time so that as students you can work out when your orientation best suits you, and that'll go through how to access the online material, what to expect, all of that. Now, some frequently asked questions. Can I gain credits for units already completed? Yes, absolutely. If you have done any previous study that's relevant, you can apply credits. We'll just ask to get a copy of your full certificate or your statement of attainment to apply those credits. Do I need to provide your identification as part of the enrolment process? Yes, you'll need to provide a driver's license or passport, and also your Medicare card as well, as identification for your enrolment. When are the student fees due? You'll be invoiced once everything goes through the system and your enrolment's approved. You'll get invoiced for your student fee contribution. So whether that's $250 for the business ones or $500 for the MPA. Can I get through my course quicker? Absolutely you can. So it's self-paced study. So if you're finding you're accelerating ahead or you've got some credits that's going to make you go through it quicker, yes, absolutely. The only thing that will hold back will be the MPAs, making sure they finish off those clinical workshops. And who do I need to ask? Like Kay just referred to, you'll actually be allocated to a dedicated educator who's your point of contact, who will support you through your learning journey. So you'll have that person's contact as your educator. And does my supervisor need to do anything? Yes, your supervisor does. Your supervisor needs to support you, encourage you through your studies. We'll also need to gain your supervisor's details as well, because they will be signing off on some of your assessment tasks and things like that. So for all those supervisors who might be listening, if you're looking this for your staff, yeah, we're looking for that support and encouragement, and to support them through this qualification. And that is it. So is there any questions at all? I think we're going to do some questions through the chat potentially, Natalie, was it?
Yeah, if anyone wants to have any questions, please put them through the chat. I'll just wait a few more minutes. I just want to thank you, Alana, and also Alison, for this informative session. I think it gave people a great overview of the courses that are available. Please see the evaluation link I've popped in the chat box and take a couple of minutes to complete it, as this link won't be available when the session is closed. The chat is still open for questions if you'd like to pop them there. But before we sign off, I'd also like to mention Agents of Change conference, which is open for registrations at the moment. It's on the 14th and the 15th of March. This conference will emphasise developing workforce potential and help practice managers and teams build and maintain a positive workplace culture. And it's got some great stuff for both practice managers and administrators. So practice managers can refresh clinical practice, and receptionists have things like building positive culture for your practice, to digital cybersecurity, infection control, and dealing with the unexpected in the waiting room. So it's a great conference, and it's available for registration on the PHN website under education events, I believe. Also, the graduation for the medical practice assistants, people who are studying the medical practice assistance course, will be on Friday evening of the conference. So that's a pretty special event for everyone. Thanks all for attending. I will say goodbye now, and I'll leave the survey in the chat box for a couple of more minutes, and I'll let you get back to your day. But thank you. Oh, Alison, you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Natalie, that we have a process to apply for the scholarships. So it's with an EOI that has previously gone out. Kathy, I'm not sure whether you're able to put the links in the chat or we'll resend that out. So it is a competitive process. We've got limited scholarships, and you will need the support of the practice to qualify for one. So yes, please put in the applications. We'd love to have some more takers, and it's a really unique opportunity. We don't have these available all of the time. Over the last couple of years, we've had medical practice assist, but this is the first time we've had the Cert 3 in business and the Cert 4 in health administration. So please take advantage of it, or get your staff to take advantage of it if you possibly can. So thanks, Solana. It was great to have you here today. Thanks, Natalie, for the coordinating, and we hope to hear from you soon.